Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to my story about how I came to Islam. So, I never was searching for Islam. I wasn't interested in it, and it just sort of hit me out of nowhere, I guess. I guess to really understand how I came to Islam, you must understand me. I was born in 1984 to a single mother, and I lived with my mum and my grandparents and lots of cousins, so I was never lonely. My grandparents on my mum's side were from Irish and English convicts, and I lived in a small country town in Victoria where I grew up all their lives. My dad was German, and I have never met him, although there were times throughout my younger life where I tried to connect with him, but he has his own family now, so there was no need for him to have an interest in me. So I think I was just a mistake of his past. That's how he sort of looked at me anyway. When I was 8, my mum got married, and I had 2 younger brothers who I loved to death. But the man that my mum married was pretty much an atheist, so that's kind of been the vibe in the family home for the last 20 odd years. I went to a Catholic school, primary school and a state school, but religion was never implemented in my life at all. Actually, I didn't really know any other religions except for Christianity or Catholicism, whatever you want to call it. I became a troublesome teen around 16. I left school in year 11. I started drinking, going out, not coming home, etc. I studied hairdressing for a while, then admin work, and then I moved to Geelong when I was about 18 to live with my auntie. And I did nothing there except get caught up in a group who thought it was pretty cool to cruise on the beach in their VL Turbos bro. So that was pretty much all I was doing. At this time I'd been chatting to this Arab guy my age, 18, 19, for about a year on the internet, but we never met. So we started talking on the phone, and I decided to go to Melbourne to meet him. I knew nothing of Muslims, or even what an Arab was, so I decided to get really drunk on the train and was pretty trashed by the time I actually met him. I guess that you could say we fell in love straight away. Although I always felt that I loved him more than he loved me. He was studying here on a student visa, and he was a Palestinian, although he'd always told me that he was Lelo, so that was a bit suspect. I moved in with him about 3 months later, and we got married a year later. And he was a massive tight ass. He never gave me a proper wedding or a dowry. A dowry, for those people who are not Muslim and who don't understand, is like a gift sort of thing that the man gives the woman at the start of their marriage. And in a way I think that he took advantage of how naive I was and uneducated. 1 year after we were married, I fell pregnant, and he forced me to have an abortion because he wasn't ready. And I didn't want to give the baby up, but he told me if I didn't, he'd take it overseas and I'd never see it again. So I loved him, so I did it, but I always internally hated him for it. I hated Islam with a passion, everything about it. Every time he would tell me, say Bismillah before eating, and how I should eat with my right hand so the devil doesn't eat with me, I would tell him to fuck off, literally. So our marriage had a lot of problems, but I loved him so much. He was my first love, first everything, and I would have done anything for him. So 4 years into the marriage, he told me if I didn't consider converting, we couldn't have kids. That was the one thing that he knew I was yearning for. He was earning a very high salary, and I was at university at the time, and all I wanted was a baby. So I gave it a real honest go to learn about Islam. I read the Quran in English nearly every night, and me and my husband would talk about it while we were going to sleep. I went to Preston Mosque to listen to some of Bilal Assad's lectures. I really thought he was really good. He connected well, and he wasn't what I would consider an extremist in his approach. I started wearing a abaya and hijab sometimes, mainly to the mosque, but sometimes if we were going down the street or shopping or to the movies, stuff like that. And I found that guys gave me so much respect that I absolutely loved it. So when I started reading and practicing on Islam, everything just seemed to fit. I already knew how the media was portraying Islam post 9/11 was grossly incorrect, but up until this time I didn't really know that much about it. The more I read, the more I wanted to learn. I had the thought that Islam was for me, but I wasn't sure I could do Islam on a daily basis. So I tried it. I learned through the wonders of YouTube. I learned how to call the adhan and perform salat, which is prayer, and even learned Surah Al-Fatiha in Arabic on my own, and with the help of my husband. And I practiced being a Muslim for about 6 months, doing prayers on time, changing my ways to Muslim ways, and it worked. I knew I could handle it and everything was good. I couldn't deny it. I first did my shahada at home with my husband, and then I went to the mosque to do it with the ladies there. For those who don't know, the shahada is the Muslim declaration of belief in the oneness of God and acceptance of Muhammad as God's prophet, peace be upon him. So basically in Arabic, you say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and this means there is no God but God, Muhammad is a messenger of God. That's it, you say that. You say it with conviction and you mean it, and you're Muslim. I'm getting like a bit emotional. As soon as I was saying my shahada, all these girls swarmed around me and hugged me and congratulated me, and I started bawling my eyes out. So for 6 months I was a Muslim. My family pretended that it never happened. I ate halal food, I prayed, I tried being a good wife. Everything was good until my husband tried to sleep with my best friend. And that's when it all changed. I lost faith, I lost hope, I had no interest in life anymore. After not drinking for 6 years, I started drinking, binge drinking, seeing guys, working in nightclubs. I hung around very, very bad people. And it's been like that for nearly 3 years now. And just recently, I was pregnant and I lost my baby. And it was a huge wake-up call for the life that I was living. So for now, I've cut all contact with the bad influences in my life, and my best friend, who's actually Christian, is the hugest support in my journey back to Islam. I couldn't ask for more of a support. I know in my heart that Islam is the right way. There's no words to describe it. There's nothing that I can say to make people out there feel what I feel. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling of peace and belonging, and whenever I hear the Quran or listen to stories of Islam, I cry and cry, and I'm not usually a crier. So I'm turning my back on my thug life ways, and putting my heart back in Allah's hands, and inshallah He forgives me for some of the very, very terrible things that I've done to myself and other people. and He guides me to a better life, and one where I find happiness, because true happiness is the feeling that I'm yet to know. So there's a lot more that I could go on and on about, but that's just a sort of short version of why and how I came to Islam. And the last thing that I did want to sort of add is I'm not wearing the hijab right now, but my faith is in my heart. It's not on my head. And it upsets me that people judge me by looking how I look now. To how I look now. So all I can say is, inshallah, God gives me strength to put the hijab back on, and guides me to the right way. But until then, I'm still me, I'm still Jay, and I'm still Muslim. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this, and Assalamu alaikum. Allahu Akbar.